Well, welcome back. We will be working on Unit 3, Lesson 12, and this is page 121 in your textbook. Black notebook, go ahead and copy this down. Is it multiplying or dividing? Is it multiplication or division? Name the operation needed to solve the problem and predict the size of the result, then solve. Number one, let's go ahead and work this. It says Sujita makes 6 quarts of lemonade to sell at her lemonade stand. Her friend Tess makes 2/3 as much lemonade. Does Tess make more or less lemonade than Sujita? Name the operation needed to solve the problem and predict the size of the results. Well, 6 quarts is what she makes, and her friend makes 2/3 as much. Does Tess make more or less? The first part would be to write the word less. And then would you use multiplication or division? 2/3 as much. Multiplication, because you would be taking 2/3 of 6 quarts. So then it says predict the size of results. Well, it's going to be less, 2/3 less. 2/3 is almost a whole, so it's going to be almost 6 quarts. So we could say something like 5 quarts. And then the last part actually wants you to find the amount of lemonade. So if you were set up 2/3 of 6. 2/3 of 6. Now in math, of stands for multiplication. So this problem really looks like 2/3 times the whole number 6 over 1. Now you could multiply 2 times 6 and get 12, and 3 times 1 and end up with 3, or you could simplify ahead of time. I encourage you, even though this is a fairly easy problem, to simplify ahead of time. 3 goes into 3 once, and 3 goes into 6 twice. 2 times 2 is 4. 1 times 1 is 1. So your final answer would be 4 quarts. All right, let's take a look at number 2. A tractor loader has a capacity of 1/7 ton and will be used to move 2 tons of topsoil. Will the loader be filled fewer or more than 2 times? And then how many times will the loader be filled? So the capacity of your tractor is 1/7 of a ton, but you have 2 tons of topsoil to move. So it wants to know how many times your loader will be filled. So 2 divided by 1/7 would give you the number of times 1/7 goes into 2. So will the loader be filled fewer or more than 2 times? Because it holds 1/7, 7 out of 7 would be 1 ton. It would be more times. And then it's a division problem. And then predicting, so we're talking 2 divided by 1/7. 1/7 is closer to 0 than it is to 7 out of 7. So it's going to take quite a few 1/7 tons. looking at, let's say, like a prediction of like 12 times. All right, so then off to the side, solve the problem. You have 2 divided by 1/7, which is the same as saying 2 over 1 divided by 1/7. And then your final step would be to find the reciprocal of 1/7, change the division symbol to multiplication, and it would be 7 over 1. 2 times 7 is 14. 1 times 1 is 1. So your final answer would be 14. So how many times will a loader be filled? 14 times. All right, if you would, turn with me to page 122. We're on, again, still multiplying or dividing, but up here it gives you a little bit of a clue here. It says multiplying by a fraction less than 1 gives you a lesser answer. Dividing a fraction less than 1 gives you a greater answer. So when you multiply a fraction less than 1, it gives you a lesser answer when you multiply by a fraction less than 1, because you're less than a whole that you're multiplying by. So your final product would be less. But when you're dividing by a fraction that is less than 1, gives you a greater number because it takes more to go into that number. So let's go ahead and work a few of these problems. I'm just going to isolate them, and then we'll solve them. Oops. There we go. Let's look at number 5. Hopefully, there it goes. All right, 8 divided by 10 would be the same as saying 8 over 1 divided by 10 over 1. And then 8 over 1 multiplied by the reciprocal of 10 over 1, which would be 1/10. And your final answer would be 8 over 10. And then, of course, simplifying 8 over 10. Looking at the 8 and the 10, you realize that 2 goes into both. So if you divide by 2 and divide by 2, you end up with 4 over 5. So your answer would be 4 over 5. All right, finish that problem in your black notebook, and let's look at a couple more here. Let's take a look at number 15. Number 15, we have 3/4 times 2/6. 3/4 times 2/6. The first thing I would do is simplify. 3 and 6, 3 goes into 3 once, 3 goes into 6 twice. 4 and 2, 2 goes into 2 once, 2 goes into 4 twice. 1 times 1 is 1, and 2 times 2 is 4. So 1/4 would be your final answer. Okay, copy that one down, number 15. Let's take a look at, let's see, let's actually move ahead. Let's look at a couple of these problems. Oops, sorry about that. Let's look at 17 and 17 and then maybe even 24. So 17 first. All right, so we have 3 1/2 times 5. A whole number times a whole number. So you'd expect your answer to be larger. Here you have a whole number, and then you have a half. So again, can't multiply mixed numbers times fractions, so you have to convert them to improper fractions. So 3 times 2 is 6 plus 1 is 7. 7 over 2 times, remember 5 over 5 has a whole number, is 5 over 1. 7 times 5 is 35. 2 times 1 is 2. 35 over 2 would be a final answer. But then you need to change it to a mixed number by dividing 2 into 35. 2 goes into 3 once. 2 goes into 15 7 times with the remainder of 1 over your denominator. 17 and 1/2, which if you think about it, you know, just by multiplying 3 times 5 you end up with 15. But now remember, you're also taking 1/2 times 5 as well. And 5 1/2s and 4 1/2s make 2 more, so that's where you get the 17, and then you get the half for 17 and a half. All right, let's go back and look at a division problem. And I think I wanted to look at number 24. One-third divided by 6. So you're taking a fraction and you're dividing it by a whole number, which is way larger than the fraction. So again, it's a division problem. So to change it up, the division sign becomes multiplication. It was 6 over 1. The reciprocal is 1 over 6. And your final answer is 1/18. All right, copy number 24 in your black notebook, and let's see if we need to do any more. I think we're pretty good. Yeah, so homework in class, more of the same. Remembering, looks like you have a factor puzzle, graphing, more of the same down below. So this concludes our video lesson number 12 for unit number 3. We will work on the homework and remembering on Monday. Thanks.